Well, hello everyone. It's Stephanie Stevens. How you guys doing? Um, Over the last few months, you guys have asked me to talk a little bit about myself and talk about the show that I have coming up. So I'm going to answer a few of your questions. Excuse me. I'm going to answer a few of your questions tonight um, that you have sent me emails about the Stephanie Stevens show and about me, myself, and who I am and what I do and these kind of things. So to answer just a few of your questions, um, I'm from Orlando, Florida. I've been in Canada 30 years. Um, how did I get started? I got started in a small place in Fort Lauderdale called Hollywood, Florida, at a club called Club Shadows. Um, and I actually entered a pageant at Club Shadows called Miss Club Shadows, and I actually won out of 11 professional contestants. I had never entered a pageant before in my life. Um, I decided to enter that pageant because I used to do talent nights in another place in Miami called the Orange Juice. And they used to have talent nights, and I kept winning the talent nights doing Janet Jackson and Tina Turner and different characters. At the time, I wasn't very good at it, but I had the energy and the essence of it. So that pushed me to enter this pageant that I heard so much about. So I didn't have a lot of money back then because I was going to school. So I actually went to the thrift store. I took an old wedding dress and cut it up for evening gown. I got my opening presentation from the Oakland Park Flea Market. And I had my boyfriend sing Over the Rainbow, and I came out and did Stephanie Mills' Home, and I just bawled my eyes out on stage, and the whole place stood up, and I won the pageant. It was amazing. That's how I got started. I got my real start at a club called Club Shadows. You asked me about my family. My mom and dad are dead. Only person that's alive is my sister and my brother. My brother lives in Detroit, and my sister lives in Colorado. And what do they think of what I do? Well, my brother is the director of the school board, so you know what he thinks. And he owns a nightclub. And my sister is married to one of the VPs of Motorola, so you know how this goes. But to be honest, they're pretty cool with me. They don't give me too much flack about what I'm doing. They just want me to be happy, and they want me to make money because I like nice things. So they don't want to always be taking care of me. Now that mom and dad are no longer around. Now, you asked me who are some of my drag idols or my favorite entertainers. Well, my favorite entertainer is probably, she's dead now. Amy Winehouse was actually I did a lot of her music. I loved her. I thought she had a great voice, and she was somebody I could listen to all the time. Not that her issues were mine. I've never smoked in my life. I've never done drugs in my life. I do drink. You have to have something to push you out there on that stage every night. But Amy Winehouse is probably my favorite singer. My favorite drag performer? I've worked with so many amazing drag performers. Erica Andrews, April Summers, Joe Posa. Those are Gypsy. Oh my God, Gypsy. These are people that were instrumental in making me see female impersonation different than something than just drag. They made me see it as an art form. April Summers was probably a really big influence, showing me big hair, big makeup, This is show business. It wasn't even drag. She kept saying, this is show business. This is entertainment. Go big or go home. So I must say April Summers, also another girl that I really love. She's been dead a long time. She helped me a lot. She gave me my first drag pair of earrings. I'll never forget that, though. Is Belle Kincaid from Florida. She used to have, it used to be midnight at Belle. She used to perform at the Copa for years. I miss her so much. We went to Publix one time. She lived as a woman. We went to Publix one time, and she could can a can of peaches with one hand. It was the funniest thing. I used to laugh all the time. She'd take one of those big industrial cans of peaches. Oh, I miss you, Belle. And she could can that and pick the whole can up with one hand. Oh my goodness. I remember her so well. What is my show about? My talk show is about a lot of different things. It's about real life. And I want it to be about real life. I don't want it to just be about drag or entertainment, or I want it to be about real life. I want everyday people to be able to tell their stories to me. And hopefully we educate some people out there that have misconceptions about this, drugs, sex, booze, relationships, marriage. Believe it or not, gay men and women do get married. So we want people to understand that since you don't get out into the field, it's my job to go out into the field and let people tell their stories about how they feel about the lives that they're living today. And so it's my job to get those stories told. Not because nobody's pushing me. It's just that I feel compelled that sometimes if people had an avenue, they connect with me. They see me perform every night in the clubs and they connect with me. So it's easy for them to tell me their stories. It's kind of hard for people who have these addictions or these different problems to actually go to the government or go to program services because they don't know these people, but they know me. So it's easy for me to relate to them in as far as me being an entertainer and me being in the community all the time and somebody they see around. It means that somebody that they can talk to. What advice do I give to people that are trying to get into this business? Show business is a very hard business to get in. You have to juggle so many different things. You can't just do one thing. You have to sing, dance, act, sew, do makeup, do hair. You have to do so many things to where you find your niche. And a lot of times you have to do these things alone. I mean, people are supportive at the beginning, but as soon as they see that you're successful or you're getting a little bit of success or notoriety, they leave you, this business is very, very difficult. My advice to people is to have a clear focus of what you want and then have a drive to go after what you want. Don't stop at all. I mean, I know money stops us, rent, relationships, children, but if you really want what you want, there is a way to get what you want. I would just say, press on. Press on. That's what I'm doing. I'm pressing on. I'm not just doing drag shows. I'm not just doing acting. I'm not just doing talk shows. I want to do it all just so I can see what I'm really good at. I already know I can do drag in the dark. I know I can do celebrity lookalikes in the dark. I want to try to do something different. Always try to do something different. Be bigger than you were than the last thing that you did. Be bigger. Be smarter. Create something different. Make yourself step out from other people. Oh, do I think I'm sexy? Sometimes I think I'm sexy. A lot of people say I'm sexy when I'm Tina Turner because of the cleavage or the legs. I'm lucky that I'm not very tall and my feet aren't very big, so most things look pretty feminine on me. Um, and I have a pretty good face, so um, I'm lucky that way. I I do feel sexy sometimes. It depends on what I'm wearing and what I'm wearing and how I'm feeling at that moment before I go out onto the stage, or if I'm just in a room full of people, just as me. It's kind of hard to be sexy when there's so many sexy people around you, but yet um, I sometimes feel sexy. Yeah, I do. Um, who famous have I worked with? Oh, I've worked with so many stars. I mean, I performed. Well, actually, I was on the same stage with Martha Wash, the Funky Green Dogs. I've done so many prides in Ottawa and Montreal, and I performed a lot with a lot of different people. Martha Wash, Cyndi Lauper, um, who else? The Funky Green Dogs, Frankie Knuckles. I guess if you guys remember, I used to work with him a lot. He was a famous black DJ. He was amazing, and he was a very sweet man. And he died a few years ago. Um, but I used to always perform with him a lot. Stars, stars that I've met. I've met Angela Bassett. She actually bought dinner for me and this guy who did Michael Jackson in St. Martin. Joby Rogers. He lives in Connecticut now. He's doing his own thing, the Joey Rogers Experience, Michael Jackson Experience. He's very good. Um, and we got along well in St. Martin. We got to meet Sinbad. We got to meet Dolph Lundgren. We got to meet Isaac Mizrahi. We got to meet Angela Bassett. We got to meet Whitney Houston. We got to meet, what's the little old lady name that used to sing, I Took My Hair Off and It Bit Me? Phyllis Diller, Ric Flair, I could go on. I am so privileged to have worked in an evening at La Cage. It has given me so much opportunity to meet so many fabulous people, not just superstars, amazing drag performers. I have worked with some of the best celebrity lookalikes in the world, and I have traveled all over the place. I mean, Cancun, Helsinki. Oh, I could go on and on and on and on and on. This working for an evening at La Cage, Lou Paciocco, he really liked me, and I was new at this, and he kept saying, "I know you're gonna, I want you to come work in the show and do Tina Turner and Janet Jackson." And I was like, "Well, I haven't perfected them yet." He's like, "Well, no, I can see it there. So just if you come in and work on the stage in a year or so, you'll hone your skills and all that kind of stuff." So I'm very fortunate enough to have met so many amazing drag performers and celebrities, and to this day I'm still meeting them. It's so great to know that celebrities actually come and see us and respect us and treat us well. um, I'm just very privileged to um, have met all these fabulous people. Do I ever Did I ever think I'd become famous? Well, apparently they put a poll out and all these pictures of impersonators, and they actually rated me the best Tina Turner impersonator in the world. I don't know how they even got my pictures or anything. Well, I'm all over Twitter and Facebook, but I am very touched by the fact that they actually thought I was the best Tina Turner impersonator, even though I haven't performed all over the place. I performed in a lot of places, and I performed in a lot of shows, like an Evening at La Cage, The Imposters, the Jewel Box Review, and I performed at almost hundreds and hundreds of gay clubs and gay event legions and insurance companies. I've done so much all over the place. I mean, so they must have seen me somewhere. Am I a perfectionist? I am pretty much a perfectionist. I I'm never satisfied with my costumes. I'm never satisfied with my hair and my makeup. I always think that it can be better. And I want it to be that way. I don't want to ever know that I'm totally satisfied with something because then I won't feel right. I want to know that I went that extra mile to get the results that I needed. I never have enough rhinestones on my gowns. There's always another spot for another rhinestone. Go big or go home. You asked me about the best gigs I've had. I've had so many amazing gigs. But the best gig that I probably had is we worked at Fallsview Casino when it opened up. And we opened for Michelle Wright. She's a country singer. She was so amazing to us. But the feeling of us going out there on that stage and thousands of people are screaming, and they haven't seen this show in a production form. I felt like a queen. And now that I've traveled around the world with this big show in a production sense with dancers and sets, it's amazing to know that I've worked in some of the best places. With who would think some young Christian boy, black boy from Orlando, Florida, would be in a 5,000 seat room, sold out, to see men with women's clothes on. And it's an amazing thing and an amazing feeling to know that you can go to these great venues like, the casinos, the stadiums, and you do these huge Legion halls or bingo halls or outdoor jazz events and things, and these people treat you like amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it's an amazing feeling to know that I've worked a lot of great gigs. I've worked a lot of bad ones too. Trust me. I worked one time in Buffalo, New York at a club called Le Cabaret. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Honey, we dressed on the stairwell going down into the basement. And the basement didn't even go all the way in through. The basement stopped at a wall at the bottom of the stairs. So we had to dress with a mirror on the stairs. Oh, awful. But the tips were cute and the pay was cute. So, sometimes when you're a starving artist, you have to do it. That's just the way it is. There's been many really bad gigs. You can't say that they were all good because they weren't all good. At the beginning, you have these really horrible gigs. Trust me, I've worked some really bad places, some really bad places that had no money. But overall, the people try to treat you well, and the audience always try to treat you good most of the time. It's different living in Canada because the people here don't really show the appreciation like the Americans or other countries as far as tipping the performers and giving the performers real respect. But they have a lot to learn as far as we all have a lot to learn as far as diversity goes and understanding entertainment and understanding this art form. We can't expect everyone to embrace what we do, but we must respect each other and try to sort of understand and get along. And if we can understand each other, then we have a better way of going forth together to help each other. I don't know. I just find that this business is very challenging in so many ways because we're constantly dealing with the LGBT or gay agenda instead of looking at the art form. There's always the negative that most of the time outweighs the positive. They can always you can always have a good show. But then at the end of the day, people want to know about your sexuality. Are you gay? Are you straight? Do you have children? Are you a freak? You know, all these kind of things. Then you're dealing with sexism, racism, the church, family, friends, relationships. Oh, we can go on and on. But at the end of the day, this is entertainment. So as long as I can make people happy and make people smile and take them away from their worries for a few moments, then I think that I've done my job as an entertainer. At the end of the day, we are entertainers, and we want you to have a good time. I want to have a good time. So hopefully when you see my shows, you appreciate what I do. I get so many comments about you're beautiful, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this. But then at the end of the day, when you want to get your bookings and you want to get work, nobody wants to pay you for those things. They want you to do, they think you just enjoy dressing up and being fabulous. At the end of the day, you have to pay your rent or pay your mortgage. And we all need to understand that entertainers don't work for free. But we are all here to help each other and respect each other. And I don't know, somewhere along the line, I just want people to have a good time. I do. I want them to have a good time. And when they come to my show, I want them to have a good time, and I want them to leave my show knowing that they had a good time. Today, we have so many restrictions on what you can say on the stage, what you can say off the stage. First of all, I say to the bars and the bar owners, stop muting artists. Stop telling artists what to do. Let them be if you're going to hire that artist, let that artist be the artist that they are. Once you start changing them, you change the dynamics of the game. And then once you think, oh, quote unquote, they're not a team player and they're not this and that. When that person walks out that door and they don't come back, 100 to 200 people walk out that door. It might not happen that night, but over time, it always happens. Listen, if you are the owner of a bar or owner of a club, stop telling the performers what they can do. If you don't like the performer for what they say and how they act, don't book them. But don't be trying to mute them and go telling them. First of all, talented people do strange things. And they act a certain way. And sometimes we have to sort of give them leeway. Stars are not the easiest people to deal with. Can you imagine dealing with Madonna and Lady Gaga and the Rolling Stones every day? Can you imagine being a manager and dealing with them, and they're walking along and he says, don't do this and don't do that, and the first thing they do when they go on the stage is just what you told them not to do. So I just think that artists should be artists, and if you hire them, accept them for what you hired them for. Don't try to mute them. A lot of these agents do that because they want to make the money, or they're looking for that opportunity. But if the opportunity is there, it will be there regardless of how that actor act or not. Yes, of course, we know they pull your sponsorship and they do this, but at the end of the day, if you pull in their sponsorship and other people's sponsorship and these things, 10 to 15 performers you have now lost because you didn't even ask them to perform for you yet, but yet they saw how you treated that one performer. Now they don't want to come and perform at all. So now you've denied your city, your audience. Oh, I could go on and on and on and on and on about that. What do I want from all this? I just want to know that people had a good time. I made a good living, and the fact that I made a difference. I made a difference in people's lives. I made them laugh. I made them cry. Um, that's what I want. And I want to know that I made a great living, and the fact that I did something with my life. A legacy. And hopefully a good one. And if not, hopefully, as long as I made somebody smile and I'm happy, then I'm okay with that. And they're happy, I'm sorry. So, with all that being said, I hope I answered a few of your questions out there tonight on the Stephanie Stevens Show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to my station. I have so many shows coming up. A lot of them are different. I'm working on a series now called Looking for Lester. It's about 3 old ladies looking for a past love that they all dated. You'll have to check that out. In my upcoming shows, I'm doing movie reviews. I'm doing some of my lookalikes. I'm doing some of the behind the scenes of my makeup tutorials. I'm trying to keep my shows as raw as possible. I'm trying to get away from that commercialized makeup thing, showing you like this and showing you as a man, and then you putting all your makeup on, and then you're looking beautiful in a beautiful setting. No, I want to show ordinary people that you can do what I do and look the way I do in your own bathroom. That's right. And I want people to know that you can shop at the dollar store, or you can shop at reasonable stores and get very cheap makeup and make yourself look just as good as this. Trust me, half the makeup I have on my face is from the dollar store. My Airposa. Hashtag. You don't need expensive makeup. You don't need expensive clothes. You just need to have a sense of what you want and how you want to look, and you can make yourself look like $1 million. So hopefully somewhere on the Stephanie Stevens shows, I will teach you something and educate you, because I'm a diva on a dollar, and I don't mind saying that I'm a diva on a dollar, because you got to start at the bottom before you work your way up to the top. I'm going to give you all my secrets to how I started, and how I start my makeup, how I do my wigs, how I sew my costumes, because I make all my own costumes. I'm going to show you a lot of things. And then along the line, I'm going to be talking to different people about different parts in their lives, segments in their lives, things that are going on with the general public and us. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Stephanie Stevens Tea. Have a great night, everybody. Over and out. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for listening to me tonight. Have a great night, everybody. Bye. Oh, be sure to tell your friends, and be sure to share all my pictures, share all of my links to everyone. You are now listening to Stephanie Stevens, and this is the Stephanie Stevens Show. Good night, everybody.